Yeah. Hi, Tolga. Can you just introduce yourself?
Hi, Profil. So, I'm a high school student from Turkey, and I've been coding for 4 years, almost 4 years now. And I started with basic HTML and CSS. Then I stopped using it. Then I I spent a lot of time with Python, like for 1 year. I I just coded Python, and then I looked up a bit to Unity game development, and I learned JavaScript for creating React Native apps for mobile, and then I discovered a bit about front end and back end, and I created apps with JavaScript, and then I learned Go. I think it's like that.
Yeah. You have very impressive technical stack, and you are very keen to learning. I can feel it. You can able to follow me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, am I speaking very fast or slow? You can understand all right, right?
yeah, I can understand, no problem.
Okay. Okay. So you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So thank you for participating on Twindle.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I really appreciate. And let's work together to make this success. You know, the main motivation, right? Apart from the intention, what we are trying to achieve, like converting the Twitter threads to the PDF or different format. But I'm more interested to, help beginners so that they can start contributing to the open source project, and we can create a environment which can foster that kind of discussion relationship that you can see in our group, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll go through and we'll discuss about which are the your interest and where you like to contribute so that we can discuss based upon your skill set. That is more important.
Okay.
And there is no hurry, no rush. You can contribute at your own pace. If you want to contribute more, you are welcome. If you want to contribute less, you are welcome. So you choose your time and the level of your contribution depending upon your needs. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. The fourth one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So let me go to that issue. I think that is closed, or
No, I didn't close it actually.
I think I closed it. Let me.
It's under the one with notification.
Yeah, here I think that's
No, it's
fine.
not that. I
No,
didn't open it.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. This is the
Okay.
problem statement. I have come up with the issues. For example, hello world PDF, and I have
Okay.
requested for write a program that generates hello world message in PDF. Use any approach you like. Or we had a several discussion. Like this is one basic because we are trying to convert, right? So
Yeah.
so that's why you come up with your approach. And can you just walk me through what is your thought process about like choosing that project, Puppeteer, Mustafa, and can you tell a little bit about it?
Can you repeat? I didn't understand correctly.
No problem. So once you get a problem statement that you have to write your PDF, so what exactly your next step? What you did? You go to Google and try to search for some library, or how you started?
Okay. Actually, I did this before, so it's a thing I did. This is the second time I did it. So that was the first idea that came to my mind. But at the first, actually, I just searched in Google, in actually YouTube, create PDF with JavaScript. And I found a video about Puppeteer and handlebars, and I just did it, and I liked it so much because you can style the PDF with HTML. It's a ease. I also created PDF using docx, but it's so harder than using HTML to PDF. But paging is far more easier in docx, because in an HTML page it can go longer and longer, and when you convert it to a page, it can cut in the middle out of nowhere.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. So I'll just open that, yeah. So this is our phase one. We have our homepage tunde.co where we'll have landing page email collection. And this is the NPM module initially will release. So the ability to integrate Twitter API and generate the PDF. So this is the section you are working, and I'm quite happy that you did very good progress.
Thanks.
So the next task, we had discussed a little bit about you, right? Like for example, in the phase two, we probably want to give the conversion functionality in the website itself, so that we have to have some kind of backend.
Yeah.
And the backend I'm thinking for AWS serverless. The reason behind it is that it would be, less maintenance for us, and it would be, I'm thinking, getting a feeling that it would be a little bit cost effective also, because we don't need to run the server all the time. We don't need to worry about how to load balance between multiple server to scale up the load and scale down the load, like Kubernetes, Docker.
I totally agree. It's a very good problem. It's a very good solution for our task.
Yeah. So for example, the Puppeteer maybe would be maybe heavier, but for the time being, phase one, it is well and good, but we can definitely evaluate a alternative solution in coming days. So can you talk about your thought process on that, whatever I discuss about?
Yeah, actually, we could use Puppet. So we said that Puppeteer could be heavy, and then we could do that. Just we create the HTML page and show it to the user, and you could, user just print it out as PDF. That could be an option, but it could be harder for some people.
Yes, and also we have lots of opportunity. We'll evaluate because multiple people also working with a different solution. So few solution may not be as user friendly as the approach you have chosen, but if it is giving a leverage in terms of the lower footprint, then we can explore that option in the future as well. So you keep an eye on that, but nothing in hurry, okay?
Yeah, and we could also use WebAssembly, but I couldn't find a good HTML to PDF converter right now.
Yeah. There is no need for HTML to PDF converter and also in this, but we'll park that discussion for a little bit timing because that is for future thing. Let us come into the one of the important aspect. Like for example, in the landing page, right? I want to have kind of one input email box.
Yeah.
So which will allow.
Yeah, okay, I listen. I'm listening.
So which will allow us to capture that email from the who are interested into our product once it is launched. For example, if somebody want to use, they will say that we are interested.
Yeah, I totally get it. Okay.
And also whoever it is the open source project, we are trying to very encourage other people, for example, beginners, experienced, intermediate developer to come and join and started contributing. So both of the places will try to capture the email information. Then here also, right, I want to create a simple JavaScript file, and again it would be Lambda serverless. The reason of proposing this serverless technology is that we no need to maintain and worry about scaling and going into putty and checking the logs.
Yeah.
So because it's the open source distributed people, so we can't rely on somebody who will be available for support. As long as it is automated, it will be helpful for us to sleep peacefully. So this is the one piece. We have to write one small program. So I'll create a task for you, but you understood, right? And also Madhusudan also did already. So he have a form and he's written some JavaScript code, which is writing to the Google Excel sheet. And that is also a good
Yeah.
approach. And we can decide that either to use a Google Excel sheet or we can use some AWS NoSQL database like DynamoDB or some SQL database. It doesn't matter. In our requirement, our database is not very huge. So whether we can use SQL or NoSQL, it really doesn't matter. But intentionally, we have to use some kind of storage where we can store this email capabilities. Okay.
Yeah. I think Google Sheets is good, but if it gets too big, it could be a problem.
Exactly. So from the day one, we can discuss about some kind of storage. Most probably, we can use anything we like, but we can write some Node.js program. Then we can create the Lambda and
Yeah, totally.
yeah. Then the next important part is that we need kind of ability to send an email to those people because the Gmail, because I'm experimenting with MailChimp and ConvertKit. They have lots of good capabilities, but once we grow, right, it may be a bit expensive. So as an open source project, we have to always optimize for the cost and build our own solution, which has two outcomes. One will minimize the cost. Another is that we'll get other people like developer like you an opportunity to explore new technology and contribute and learn together.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we have SES. AWS is one service is there, SES. So we can use that to send that. So here you already done some work and did some research. Can you talk about it, about your experience here?
I've searched for using AWS SDK in JavaScript, and I found the SDK website documentation, and actually there are so many examples to how to use each of the AWS's AWS's services. So I just copy and paste it and adjusted it a bit to our needs.
Okay, so I'll explain about in detail in some other day. Today I'll give some brief idea about how we can approach the problem. So for example, first you need to create a AWS account. So you have a AWS account.
No.
It is free of cost. And once you create an account, the lots of services are free and lots of free tiers. So you don't need to pay any money.
Okay.
So you can
That's good.
experiment. But one important thing is that, right, root account, you always enable the MFA. You know what does MFA means?
No.
MFA means multiple factor authentication.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because once you give an email and password, if somebody hacked into it, so they can do Bitcoin mining in your servers. So you'll get a huge lefty bill.
Oh,
So it is utmost importance that you secure your credential, because it is a kind of, you won't get charged if you don't do anything wrong. Don't create servers randomly, but the first step, once you create root account, so they will also recommend you to do that MFA. So there are some different software available. They can guide you, like Google Authenticator and other things, so that in mobile application you can install. So it will
yeah.
generate a random code each time. So once you log in into the AWS account, it will ask for that username password, then it will ask for the code. So it will make more secure.
Okay, I've used the Google Authenticator before, so I'll try it.
Okay. The second thing, as soon as you create a root account, don't use for anything else. Don't generate the secret key and access key using the root password, because that is extremely powerful. And create a user, like for example, your name, Tolga, in the user group and management. I'll explain you in some other day if you are having issues. This is user you will create in IAM.
Yeah, I used the UX before. I probably could do it.
And give a role like which only give access to ACS, Lambda,
Okay.
and whichever you need. Don't be lazy. Don't give the full permission. It will lead to lots of issue. Okay.
Okay, good advice. Okay.
And also generate that access key and token for the Tolga.
Okay.
It is very straightforward, easy way. And but you don't ever commit that to it in GitHub.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. And actually, there's a thing called Git Guardian that warns about access keys.
Sorry.
There's one time I've committed my Google API key to my private repository, and something called Git Guardian that I use warned me. These are
Yes,
a
yes.
good utility.
Yeah. So you can suggest in some other team member, but whatever may be, don't commit into those key and secret. If you commit it, you are giving your user ID password to everybody. It is like that
Mm.
secure. So they can play around with your account and do hacking. Lots of people are intentionally running some bots and software code to maliciously hack your account.
Okay.
They
Is
scan
there a
for
way
that.
to revoke the keys?
Sorry.
Is there a way to revoke the access keys?
Yes, that's again, you can do that. So again, what I'm trying to say, in 7 days, you try to delete the keys and generate again. Make it reminder. So each 7 days, right? Or 10 days, you try to do key generation automatically, you know.
Okay.
So please follow the due diligence if you are using AWS. So
I see.
root, enable this MFA, and Tolga also, if you want, you can enable the MFA. You create IAM role, don't give the admin privilege, give only the access what you really need. Do little bit research on that. It is very simple. It is, you just have to give permission, read, write, and like that, you know.
Yep.
And
Okay,
if you
okay,
have,
I get it. No problem.
okay. After that, you can play around with that Lambda. So you play around with your simple account and commit to the code into the Twindle
Twindle,
repository.
Twindle or Twindle scripts.
Twindle script. These are the additional peripheral code. So here, yeah, you have created the code. So you please commit in the code here.
Okay.
And in this code, there is no coding process, nothing. I'll be personally monitoring it, because who are experienced, like you, I'll give an opportunity to work whatever is interested to you, so that it will help to tackle that key important issues which we need urgently.
Okay.
So you got the requirement. First, we have to create a Lambda function to collect that email and store into some place. So there are two technology also you have to, you know,
Yeah, okay, I get it. I'm just noting it myself.
yeah, just for other people who may be referring later point of time. So there are two different components. One, you have to use like API key. So this would be the REST endpoint, it will be exposed. So it will be called by here, API gateway. So it is very simple, clicking few buttons. And here you have to write your code. And you can just, it is very simple. You don't need to worry too much about Lambda. It is just about plain Node.js code. you know. Then that will help us to store into some data store. You can just explore into DynamoDB, which is very simple, or you can go with some SQL database. Doesn't it up to you? Play around with it. So you'll have lots of free time. So I'm expecting that if you don't do anything, and also, like for example, in your root account, you go to that, play around with that profile thing, and there is a budget section. You set an alert saying that if your budget is going more than $5, something like that, so you will get email alert to your account. So you know that if something is fishy happening, so you'll get notification that mail instead of getting a bigger bill at the end.
Okay.
So if something is fishy is going, so you can have ability to note down earlier and you can shut it down. But I'm running most of my server. I am not having any issues. But if you follow these guidelines, so I set my MFA into both the account, root account as well as the Tolga account. So I'm a bit very careful.
Okay, I totally get it. No problem. I've used the IAM before, so.
Okay. So do you have any question about it? And gradually, right, this ACL email thing will improve this feature a lot. So that, for example, we can see like who is subscribing, who is unsubscribing, and who is opening that thing. Those are all kind of facility this SES is going to provide.
Okay.
So
So
gradually you will come to know, because if somebody unsubscribe, there is no need to send a mail to him again, right? So in the table we can create a section so that it is unsubscribed. So we can't, we'll don't send the email again.
yeah, okay, I get it.
And this interface, you don't need to build an UI for this for the time being. You can just use a REST API. We can use Postman or some kind of curl command to send that thing, because we are technical. So the functionality is more important rather than worrying about,
Okay.
creating better UI screen, other thing. Does it make sense?
Yeah, totally.
And do you have any question?
No, it was clear. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, and try to help other people like beginners. Just keep an eye on that, and you work on this actively on this piece, and try to extend, review other people code, give some relevant suggestion, and help them to grow.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
more and more people know, because I can see, right, you are capable and doing the things, so I am giving complicated tasks. So
Okay.
I assume in the future, so you also identify a few people so that you can give some tasks, like for example, you take care about this, I'll take care about this. So there would be plenty of tasks, there is no shortage of tasks.
That would be good. I'll try to like review the PRs and look up at the issues anytime I find up free time, because actually I'm studying for exams.
No problem, at your own pace, because I can see you are contributing daily, whatever the time you allocate. I'm just giving a direction. But take your personal thing as a priority, your exam and personal commitment, job, or that is first priority. And this is we are doing as per we are liking to do that, and helping other beginner to use it. But this is not priority for you.
Okay, thanks.
So, do you have any more question?
No, actually, if I'll meet, I have some problems, I'll ask you in the future.
Yeah, sure, definitely.